think what makes Paul so special is he leaves a lasting impression on everyone.
No matter what it is, I know Paul has it under control.
People always used to say about Paul, like, he's too talented to be in Quincy. And I will, even though some of us artists may find that offensive to say, that is one thing that I always think about Paul, and just how talented he is and how blessed we are in Quincy to have him. And we love him very much.
When you first meet Paul, the first thing I noticed anyway and learned about him was his positivity. It was something I admired and respected. No, or I can't do it, just we're not in his vocabulary. If we could only bottle that and sell it, we could make a fortune, Paul. Keep up the good work, buddy. We love you.
I remember the very first show I was in with him, A Christmas Carol. I borrowed a piece of paper from him, and he was so kind. It was my very first adult show, and I was nervous, and I still remember that moment because he's one of those people that you just don't forget.
I appreciate you, you know that, because you save all of my shows with the beautiful lighting that you do for us and our sets, and you let us come in here and take over your land, Paul land. So I love you, Paul. Thank you.
Paul is very reliable, dependable. He's very calm. Whenever there's a problem, Paul's going to solve it, but he's not going to go crazy in the process. And so he's a calming influence and a reliable influence on everybody at Quincy Community Theater, and we love him for that.
But he brings a lot of consistency to the theater. With the leadership changes over the last several years, you can always count on Paul for being here, for filling any role that we need filled.
One of the many things I appreciate about Paul is the fact that he is so patient and gracious with volunteers, even those of us who are not very skilled at the technical aspects of theater.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for being such a good role model and a father figure to me here at QCT. I definitely could not have made it through the first couple months or even the past 2 years that I've been working here without your support as a coworker, but also just as someone who really cares about me.
What I admire most about Paul is your integrity as a friend. I love you.
What I appreciate about Paul is the long hours and devotion that he's given to the theater for years and years and years. Even though it says in the program that he's from Denver, we all know he's from two places, Quincy and our hearts.
Paul, you've been like a father to me at the theater and to many people here at QCT. Thank you so much for all of your support and for sharing your talent with us.
Paul was one of the first set directors that I ever had a chance to work with, and I have learned so much from him over the years, from learning how to pull a curtain, to moving sets, to watching him build or destroy sets in the process of striking and setting up for a show.
What I appreciate most about Paul is his creativity, his energy, and his never grow up spirit.
Well, we all know that Paul has great hair. And he also is kind of the one steady thing here at the theater that I've really come to appreciate.
What I appreciate about Paul is his artistic passion that contributes to all the successes that we've had here at QCT. It's a blessing for us all.
Some people have a work husband. I had a work father. When I was working at QCT, Paul was like a father figure to me, and he affectionately called me his little girl.
The thing I like most about Paul is how creative he is. His sets are amazing, and they're so much fun to work on, and challenging for me to do the things that he wants me to do on the sets.
He played my son once, and he's older than I am. So I love Paul because this is theater, and only in theater can you do that. I love you, Paul. All my heart.
To me, Paul has been a complete rock through some very difficult situations, and I just want to say thank you, Paul. You are totally amazing.
Paul is probably the hardest working person I know. He has that initiative and ambition to just keep going until the job is done, and he doesn't settle. He always wants it to go to the utmost that it can. Paul once said there is no such thing as a small show, and that is very true. That's a life lesson. and he is always determined to make it be the best show it can be.